Hi. Good morning and welcome to Russell Podcast, the show where we delve deep into the journeys, struggles, and triumphs of individuals from diverse fields. Here we aim not just to inspire, but to embark on challenges together. In a world inundated with success stories, Russell Podcast dares to explore the untold tales behind them. It's not just about celebrating victories, it's about understanding the grit, the grind, and the glory that lie beyond. The Russell Podcast is your platform. Believe that every journey is unique, every challenge is an opportunity, and every story deserves to be heard. Stay tuned, buckle up, and let's embark on this extraordinary journey together. Welcome to Russell Podcast. Today's guest, Ms. Manpreet Ma'am, is an experienced tarot card reader and spiritual healer with 17 years of expertise. She founded AMEA, a spiritual wellness center focused on balancing and aligning the mind, body, and soul. Her approach integrates various spiritual and energy healing techniques aiming to create a safe environment for self discovery and self empowerment. Manpreet's rich background also includes a decade in global executive leadership hiring, adding a unique depth to her understanding of diverse human experiences. At AMEA, clients are encouraged to rediscover their limitless selves through personalized healing journey. How are you doing, Manpreet ma'am, today?
I'm doing great and looking forward to our discussion.
All right, perfect. Firstly, I would just like to ask you just give us a brief introduction about everything that you do at AMEA and how this tarot card reading works and everything, so that our viewers could get a brief about what you do about AMEA and what basically tarot card reading is.
So, thank you so much. So, Ameha is as such a direct manifestation of my soul purpose, you can say, which has been to connect people to their intuition, to their inner self, to get to the inner wisdom that's present in each one of us, right? And Ameya has not only been about my journey with others, but it's been about my journey as well with myself, my spiritual journey, my spiritual awakening. And at Ameya, that's the point. The plan, the idea is to empower people to go within, to tap into the limitless wisdom, knowledge that's present within us in the universe, and look within for solutions instead of looking outside. These days, with the kind of stresses we live in, with the kind of fast paced life that we have, it's so easy to get distracted, disconnected, disillusioned. The only way to come back to center is to go within, to find your solutions within and center yourself. So that's the idea behind Ameya, because when I was lost, Ameya is what brought me back to center. It's brought me back to who I was. At Ameya, I work with clients through various, services, or you can say modalities. Of course, there is tarot card reading where I do tarot card sessions and guidance sessions for my clients across the globe. I also teach tarot card courses, Reiki healing courses, and Access Bar courses, where I teach these modalities to people so that they can heal themselves. They don't have to be dependent upon anyone, but they can do their own healing and move ahead in life. Plus, apart from that, we have a 6 to 7 month program where we work one on one with our clients in helping them identify their fears, their limiting beliefs, their triggers, what is holding them back, what is their gift, what is their soul purpose, what is it that they are looking to achieve in this world, and how can they do that by self empowering themselves. We provide them with life enhancing tools which can help them center themselves. Example, meditations, teach them EFT tapping, your inner child healing techniques, so on and so forth. So that it is just it's just that after the time that we spend together, they can continue on this journey together on their own as well, right? So that's what we do at AMEA. That's a brief history about AMEA per se. I have been a tarot card reader for the last 18 years now. Fell in love with them when I was back in college, and there's been no looking back. Slowly and steadily, I learned various other modalities like Reiki, Theta healing, Access Bar. I did a spiritual life coaching course, soul purpose coaching course, NLP, mindfulness, so on and so forth. So it's been a long journey for me, but it's been a very, very fruitful, transformative journey for me. So that's it.
That's amazing to hear. And I believe in today's time, it's really important for everyone to learn self-care. Not just
Yes.
caring, but like you need to empower yourself by, looking within you and knowing what your true purpose. And I believe that what Ameya is doing, what you are doing, truly does help a lot of people with that purpose. And it has an amazing, amazing, aim to empower people's life, make them empower their own lives, and not just do it for themselves. So I feel like that
Yes.
will self-empower and, give many people the motivation and perhaps the goal to work for in life, which is an amazing thing. As you were saying that, you got into target reading, like what personally inspired you to in, your process of spiritual healing? And, like why did you pursue it and how did you pursue it? And
As I told you earlier, my mom is my guru. She was the one who introduced me to these various practices. So she had become a healer, an astrologer, and a fortune card reader. And honestly, being a science student, I had my doubts about it. I had a lot of doubts about it. I would call it, this doesn't work, this doesn't make sense, and I don't believe in what you're doing, so on and so forth. But then what happened was in 2006, I broke my leg, and I was confined to my home for a month plus, and I couldn't move much. So my mom, who had already taught me Reiki, told me, why don't you just try and heal your ankle, right? So that you can heal faster and go back to your college and go back to being outside again. And I told her I don't believe in it. She said, why don't you try? See, two things will happen. Either you will heal and go back, or you'll prove that, you'll prove to yourself that this doesn't work. There's win-win for both, for you in both the cases, right? So why don't you try that? So I started healing myself. When I had broken my leg, my doctors had told me I would need at least 6 to 7 weeks of being in a cast. But after doing healing for myself every day for 21 days, my cast came off in 3.5 to 4 weeks, which is a surprise for my doctor as well, and which just opened up my eyes that what just happened. During the same time, I came across a set of tarot cards which are lying in my mother's office. And it was just out of pure curiosity that what is this thing about? And I have time on my hand. Let me just try and start seeing what it is. So it was completely out of pure curiosity that I started doing tarot. I would do tarot for my friends just out of fun. And when suddenly they started coming back to me with saying that, what you said happened, or what you're saying is actually true, it just freaked me out because I was just playing around. I was not serious about this. But then I realized there's so much more to this that I have no idea about. There is more to it. Suddenly, during sessions, I would have insights about people I didn't know, situations I had never heard of. And when I would tell them to the other person, it would shock them and me both. So that's how I got into tarot card reading. And honestly, every session that I started doing and kept doing, the kind of connection I felt to a power that is greater than me, to myself, the kind of guidances that came through, which would give answers to people who were actually seeking those answers, and that satisfaction of making someone happy and having helped them in finding their solutions and answers was honestly very, very satisfying. So that's how I kept going on this journey. And in 2018, I realized I love doing this and I want to now move into this completely. This is my path for me. So that's when I started, educating myself, getting certifications in various other modalities. And Ameya got formed in 2020 during COVID. And here we are now.
wonderful, wonderful. Like you said, basically it's like fate led you to it. Had you not broken your leg, maybe you wouldn't even be sitting here. Who would have known
I
where you
won't
would be
be.
right? Exactly.
Yes.
And you, like you said, you're a science student and you didn't exactly believe, which I feel like is a lot true for most people. They believe that, tarot reading and such things are like voodoo. They're not true. They are fake. They're like for
Yes,
people who are just faking it. But like the way you showed that you experienced it all, your whole journey, you even you didn't believe in it, but when you saw it
I did.
working, it worked in front of you and the whole thing changed. The whole perception of you not believing into it changed. And I believe, like, if had you believed it from the start, maybe even your faith in it wouldn't have been so strong as it is right now. Because once you know that something, once you're proven wrong about something, then you truly learn that, okay, yeah, I was wrong. I can learn from the scratch and, build myself bottom up from the
There
base.
is just so much to learn. That's when
Exactly.
you realize there's so much more that you have no idea about. And that just opens you up to learning, to being more curious, and to wanting to go deeper in it. And that's what just happened to me.
Yeah, it opens you to like a whole new world of experiences and like a world that's
Totally.
way bigger than just, our own surroundings and our own minds. It's way bigger than that.
Way, way bigger than that.
Now, one question that I have you, like just like a follow-up question, like consider me a person who has no experience in this, who knows nothing about this. How would a person like me, like a fellow watcher maybe, gets inspired by what you're saying and is like, yeah, I want to try this. I want to see what this world has to offer. How would you recommend they get into tarot reading and their own journey of spiritual healing?
Perfect. I, in fact, believe everyone should learn a particular modality of healing for themselves. You don't have to learn healing to do it only for others or to become a healer. In fact, you don't even have to learn tarot card reading to do it for others. It's the best self awareness tool that you can equip yourself with. It helps you tap into your intuition. It helps you see into things that you are not being able to look through through your conscious mind. It helps you tap into subconscious. It can help you identify limiting beliefs, your emotions that are stuck. So anyone and everyone, I feel, should learn it for themselves per se. How can they learn it? It's very easy. Please find a teacher who can teach you tarot card reading or who can teach you a certain modality of healing. Learn it and practice it for yourself every day. You will see the changes happening in your life. It will build your confidence when every time you are in a fix and you use your cards or intuition to find the solution, and if those things happen and you find a way out, it'll just build your self confidence. It'll build your belief in yourself that, you know what, I can see myself through this.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. And like you said, you do teach. So if you could just like tell us a bit about your courses in related to this, like the way you offer them, how are they accessible to the people?
So, if I talk about tarot courses per se, in this world of learning from videos, I still believe in teaching in person, either online or in my office, right? So, I conduct batches of 2 to 3 people maximum, either online or in person, where we go into understanding what tarot is, what's its history, how does tarot empower us, what are the meanings of different cards. But more than that, my focus is on helping you build your intuition, helping you believe in your intuition. How do you see, what does your intuition feel like, so that you can intuitively read cards. And if not, just not tarot cards, if you start believing in your intuition, you start understanding what different colors, symbols, what different numbers mean, you can pick up any cards and read them. You don't need just to read tarot cards, right? So my focus is always on building a very strong intuition within our clients or my students, so that they start working with their intuition. So these are a month-long courses of 8 sessions, over a period of 1 month. Post which, of course, you can start reading cards for yourself and for others. For tarot, I have 2 courses. One is a beginner level, where we are just going into understanding tarot. What does tarot cards mean? How can you use them for your own spiritual journey? How can you use them to create more awareness about yourself? What your purpose is? What you're here to learn? What are the lessons you need to learn? So on and so forth. Of course, future prediction is a part of it, but that's a very small part of it, right? And the second level is where you combine astrology and tarot to understand, to dive deeper into your own astrological placements and understanding them through tarot. So that's an advanced level course that we have. This is again a month-long course. I would suggest anyone who's doing this course, take a break after the beginner's level course. Practice your tarot for some time. Get comfortable with it. Do tarot for yourself and others and see how it's coming along before you jump into the next course. Because by then you would be more comfortable, you would have worked with yourself, you would know whether you'd want to go this deeper into this or just be happy with what you're doing right now. Okay. So that's for tarot courses. I also teach Reiki courses. There are various levels in Reiki, level 1, level 2, level 3, mastership, grandmastership, so on and so forth, right? And these are a day long, 2 day long, 3 day long courses. But for anyone who's just interested in healing themselves, level 1 and level 2 of Reiki is more than enough. If we combine the two courses, it's a 2 day course that we conduct either online or in person, where I take you into the basics of what's Reiki, what are the various hand positions, how does Reiki work, how do you cleanse a person's aura, what are the various symbols of Reiki that you can use to empower your healing practice, and how does Reiki help you? So that's what the Reiki courses are about. I also teach Access Bar, which is a form of, it's basically another type of healing that we do. And we believe there are 32 points on your head, which correspond to a particular area of your life. And when pressed gently, they release limiting beliefs, negative energies, thoughts, emotions stuck in those particular areas of your life, right? So I teach that as well. And that's a 1 day course. Any other question you have about this? I hope I've answered your question properly.
You really have, and I feel like many of our viewers who are like maybe interested, they'll be really glad to know about various courses that you have, because it's not just tarot reading or this. You have like a variety of courses, and I personally
Yes.
really like that. Even I feel like if at any point, like any of my family members are interested in, Reiki or tarot reading, because I know that this is a very interesting segment because it's new to many people. There's not much information about it anywhere, even online. You can't really if you can understand the meaning, you won't be able to grasp it, you won't be able to feel the meaning. But in a personalization, I feel like it will be like a topic like this will be really well explored and well understand. And I feel like everyone can take an experience of what like the whole journey is. And I feel like that would be really helpful from your side, so thanks a lot for that. Now,
You're
my
welcome.
questions that are like my upcoming questions, they're not particularly about your ad reading. Firstly, I would like to take a step back to you, your corporate job and your corporate background. I'd like to go in there, and I would like to know, like, what were like the challenges, first of all? I mean, coming from a corporate background to like a completely different background, which is tarot reading and your spiritual healing processes. That's a lot different than what we do in a corporate world. So, like, how would you say that these changes were? Were they somewhat difficult, and how did you, address to them? How did you work towards them?
So I had been practicing my own self-healing and doing tarot card for others alongside in the last for the last 18 years. So even while working in the corporate, I was doing that as well, right? But it was the complete mindset change which was needed when I completely moved into my work. It was a complete mindset, thought process change. When you're in the corporate, it's a hard, you know, hard, cutthroat, competitive, go-getter, get things done, and be productive all the time. You got to be working on your toes all the time. Whereas this field is very, very different. It's about slowing down. It's about being connected to yourself. It's about listening to your intuition and following it, even if it doesn't make logical sense to you and to others. It's about being there with yourself, meditating. It's completely different for me. When I left my job and I moved into my work full time, life put a break on me. I thought when I left my job, I would move into this work and I would like totally be, working at it all the time, working at it full speed. But then life taught me separately. Life taught me that you cannot approach this work with the same attitude, the same mindset that you had there. You have to change the perspective. Here, you are not it's not a business that you're doing, it's people that you're working with, it's emotions that you're working with. It is a sort of a devotion to the higher power, to the divine. Your work is a devotion to it, right? So your mindset completely has to change. And if certain things are not happening, they're not meant to happen. That entire idea of, if this is supposed to happen, this is supposed to happen at this time. No, where things will happen when they're meant to happen. So that entire, earlier I would get irritated, if my sessions got cancelled because you had scheduled them, you were following a timetable. But now I realize if something got cancelled, it was not the right time for it, right? So let things happen at their own pace. Let the universe take over. That's been my biggest learning.
Wonderful. Like you said, like everything happens for a reason. It's like a whole
Yes.
process, and maybe if something didn't happen, it's maybe for the better. You cannot tell. There's no
Yes.
way to tell, and no need to, be sad about it or be angry about it. What happens, it's happened for the best. You can't do anything about it. And my next question is like, so you have had like leadership hiring expertise before. You've had a lot of,
Yes.
experience in that arena. You've dealt with that. You have done that. Like, how would you say that helped you in your, like your entrepreneurial journey at AMEA, like coaching and mentoring others? How did that shape up your work profile at AMEA?
I can't thank that journey of mine enough because I think it laid a foundation for especially my working with clients outside India. When I was in my corporate job, I was basically hiring CEOs, VPs, and general managers and above for diverse organizations across sectors, specifically banking, insurance, FMCG, across the globe, right? And I used to be dealing with them. And my work was about persistent, finding the right candidate for the right role. That was my end result that was needed. That required a kind of a persistence to just keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. Even if, at the end, the person doesn't join, you still have to go back to the board and start all over again and go into a territory you have no idea about. There was once upon a time I was working for an organization in Malaysia, and these CEOs were not there on LinkedIn. I literally had to, identify them, get their number somehow, reach out to them, close the role. So my expertise there that I developed, what I bring to this work now is not giving up till the time I don't reach the root cause of the problem. The persistence to keep at it, to get back to the board when you get stuck, right? Plus, handling clients across the globe. Having worked with these clients, I now know how to work with people from the Middle East, from Southeast Asia, US, Canada, Europe, because I've already worked with them. And I think one of the biggest takeaways for me while I was working with these leaders was their humbleness, their humility, the way they spoke, when they were to me, when they were dealing with me. It made me realize that leaders at that with that experience at that stage of their life and the kind of portfolios they're dealing with, the way they talk to you shows their humbleness and humility and their experience. And keep it simple, because I realized the leaders who had actually done the work and who were doing very well were people who kept it very simple and who explained their work in the simplest manner possible. So when I now work with people, I try and inculcate that as well.
Okay, wonderful. So I guess there is a lot to learn, like about from everyone that we meet, their humility, their humbleness, and there's a lot to learn from every part of your life. Like you said, you couldn't be more
Yes,
thankful of the past because it made a foundation. I believe that
of
everyone
course.
has that certain moments in their life which are they're really, really thankful for. Because for you, you came from like a corporate to a whole different segment of your life. You had no intention to at like at the
No.
beginning of your life when you were in school you didn't even know that you will ever do this, but then when you went and you just explored the whole new segment of this whole journey, this whole world that had so much wonders filled, that anyone would be like just amazed and shocked to just see, filled with curiosity of what's to come next. But then you go into a corporate era, you're like doing your daily 9 to 5 tasks. You have to go do this meeting and that meeting, pace the work, keep doing hard work to reach the next ladder and the next ladder of the job promotions and scaling up and doing everything. But then you just you end that and you transit into a new world, into a new journey, which is just so
Completely different new
peaceful.
journey.
Exactly. It's just so different. Like everyone there is running and you are here just sitting and you're like breathing normally and just feeling the air go by you and making others around you to just
Yes.
relax. Take a deep breath. It's okay. It's okay. It's all good.
It's okay
It's,
to pause. It's okay to slow down. Like it's okay. Nothing will happen if you take a day's break. That's my biggest message to all the patrons or clients that I work with. I make them take 1 day of pause.
because I
That's it.
believe in today's time, it's really important. Everyone is just running and running towards their imaginary end. Like, you never know when life's gonna end. You never know when automatically your car's just gonna press the brake. So just take your time, enjoy the journey, see the trees go by, see the birds chirping, enjoy the night sky, enjoy the daytime, enjoy everything, and take a deep breath. See the world around you. Take a moment and enjoy it. I believe, and that, like you said, it's the most important message because these days
Most
people are not
important.
really sure about that. They don't really know what is, what is to come next, and they get filled with anxiousness about that. But if you just relax, you'll be able to find a solution easily. All you need to do is take your time. And like you said about the global context, you've had a lot of experience in the global era. So what do you feel is the future of like spiritual healing and empowerment practices in the whole global context?
You'll be surprised. So when I was doing my spiritual life coaching course, I was doing it from an American institute, and we were a batch of 300 people across the globe. And to see, firstly, what I understood was each one of us, no matter which country we are from, are facing the same problems, are going through the same problems. Doesn't matter what gender you are, doesn't matter what age you are, right? We have the same questions. We can be as lost as anyone else. Plus, there is now this curiosity and this acceptance of another way of living, that there can be another way of living, that we don't have to just keep running. Alternate medicine, healing, spirituality is coming up in a very, very big way. You'll be surprised. Some of my batchmates were as young as 17, 18 years old, and as old as 70, 80 years old, 70, 80 years old as well, right? And I've seen them connecting with spirituality in a very, very deep way. And so, at the global era, with the kind of life that we're living, the kind of disconnection within ourselves, within our families, with our friends. Yes, we might have a million people following us on, Instagram, but the day we are sad, sometimes we don't even know that one person we need to call, right? So, in this kind of environment, having something that just centers you, having something that brings you back, grounds you, helps you focus, quiets down those voices, those fears which are shouting in your head, which are telling you all things that don't exist, that helps you just realize there's more to life. For anxiety, with the kind of stresses, anxiety people are going through, every second person is going through anxiety. Every second person may be fighting with depression, not knowing it or knowing it, right? It is just a matter of taking your healing in your own hand, taking out that time for yourself every day. 1 hour, block it. Spend time journaling, spend time self reflecting, spend time asking your question why? Why do I want to do this? Why do I want to do this? Why do I want to do this? Why am I here? Even if I'm in a job, why am I doing this? What am I learning? Am I growing? 1 hour of meditating, doing breath work for that matter, or doing energy healing practices, or just spending time on self reflection questions, or doing nothing but sitting is all that you need. And I think anyone and everyone can do that, but we just don't take our time for it.
Well, that is very, very true. We don't know what we are facing in our lives today. Many of us have no clue about what we are going through, and we just don't even take out our time. We just keep going in that direction and just keep doing the same work. This was my last question for you, and I do have something to ask you personally. Like,
Sure.
um, like how would you say that, like, how is this whole, like, the way people are running? How should they just, take a brief, like you said, they should just take a brief moment's pause. uh some people would argue that they don't have enough time and they don't have enough, they don't know, we have this, we have that coming up, we have this deadline, we have our EMIs and our bills are piling up, but they still keep on running and you're just doing more harm to yourself. In the end, life is about living, right?
Yes.
So, all right, that is all from my
We
side.
sure.
I'll
Should
just
I answer that
pause.
question for you?
Yes,
Right? The time that we spend scrolling on Facebook, Instagram, if I take off myself off Instagram, social media for 10 minutes and I just breathe every 2 hours, I give myself 10 minutes to breathe. And even that's a lot.
that's wonderful. Yeah, that's actually very true. We do waste a lot of time on that. So thanks a lot for that.